Hey everyone, welcome back to the Old Music Matters on That podcast. I'm your host, Brian. Today I welcome a special guest. We got Alex from the band. I'm hoping I pronounced it right because my Latin's not very good. Lux Extermina. How you doing today, brother?
Hey, what's up? How's it going?
Not too bad. How you been recently? What's new?
We've been hard at work here at Lux Extermina. We just actually released one of our first singles. That's going to be it's actually already live. So, we're excited to present that to everybody, and it's been going good. Fresh band starting out of Queen City, Virginia. For those of you who don't know who Queen City is or where it's at, it's actually Stanton, Virginia. So, yeah.
In Virginia? They're still in Virginia, yeah. So,
Yeah.
Actually, are you very far from Richmond by any chance?
We're about an hour away from Richmond, about an hour and a half, give or take.
I just know, mainly because of Lamb of God, because I know Randy Bly mainly talked about that a good bit.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, they're right out of Richmond. There's a lot of good metal coming out of Richmond and Virginia in general. So
that's good.
It's exciting.
Actually, I think I remember way back in the day. I think this is when Randy Bly was on trial. I think it was in the Czech Republic there, and I think the guy from Guar actually I put the whole thing together, and I want to say it was a protest in a way. Obviously, it was peaceful and everything there too, but it was protesting his release, to say, or trying to make something out of it so that he gets released, that sort of deal. But
yeah,
we'll do it, but he went too soon, and unfortunately. Wish I could remember his name. It's escaping me at the moment. I know a little bit of Guar. I'm not like real big into them, but I at least know of Guar.
Oh yeah. I can't say I'm a huge fan or follow them, but they're definitely, iconic and left their mark in the industry, and which is, amazing to say the least. So respect out to them as well.
That's for sure. There's some funny shit there too. I guess during the live performances as well. So.
Oh yeah, so they know how to throw a show. That's for sure.
They put Kiss to shame. So yeah.
Yeah, no doubt.
Hey. So, I guess how's the band been? I guess did you guys just start recently? I guess yeah. The reason I found out about you guys was actually because of your new single "Depths of Depravity."
Yes. Like I said, we're a fresh band. We have all the workings to really, kind of push ourselves and make it independently. I'm actually the audio engineer in the group, and I've been, pursuing that for quite some time. And we got a team of marketers, that's, good in the band itself. And so we're just kind of getting our feet on the ground and starting to make our online presence known. And so we're just kind of trucking along, and we have an EP coming out soon and another single release to be sooner. So we're pushing forward.
That's good to hear.
So, yeah.
Actually, you get to elaborate more here on the music here in just a little bit here too, Alex. But first off, I want to welcome you to my podcast, and just to fill the audience, actually, Alex has to write solo. I guess something came up with Jackie, which was kind of a little bit of a shame too. But
yeah,
so I
can see his beautiful face in here.
Yep. And actually, what role does Jackie play? And I guess, do you want to give the current lineup of the group right now?
Yeah. So we got myself on drums and audio engineering. We got Jackie Gray, who's the lead guitarist and kind of head of the marketing team and communications. We got Woody Kuhn, who is also the other guitarist, and we have Ethan Duncan, who is the lyricist and songwriter, vocalist, and we also have Jonah Pruitt holding it down in the rhythm section on bass. So, little 5-piece band, and it's good stuff.
Let's say, yeah. Actually, the way the album, or I should say the single, or at least the little pic that I was seeing from like Depths of Depravity, that's actually I found out, be like, oh, that's so cool. Let's go check it out. Plus it's 50-50. Awesome. So figure it's worth a try. So, all right. But I sent you guys over the questions right here. So let's get to know you guys more, both as the musicians, but also as the individuals as well here too. So you ready?
Yeah.
All right. Spotlight's on them now, but here we go.
Uh-huh.
All right. All right. So I'll start with you in general, and then we can get to the band here in just a little bit. But who are you? I guess how'd you become a musician?
You know, my family actually has been in the entertainment industry for quite some time. Whether we're kind of strung out as far as chefs, musicians, dog show enthusiasts. I mean, we're always kind of close as far as like the entertainment industry as a whole, basically. I came from a musical background. Um, with my aunts, uncles, and dad, you know, really kind of getting me into the music. You know, I started from a funk, jazz, classic rock background and kind of involved in, you know, to my own person as far as music goes. And, you know, it's kind of them, I guess I would say, that really kind of got me into the love of music and I guess everything behind it. And, you know, free to check them out as well. They're probably the best cover band in the Valley called the Goodson Band. Um, they're been around for quite a while, and yeah. And as far as guess you know, like me, myself, and I, you know, I've been pushing recently into the more less of being able to play my instrument better into more of, you know, the background side of, you know, music and stuff that you normally don't see as a listener, which has been its own set of challenges. And you know, it's all fun as well to learn the other side. So it's a
I guess
good
have
little.
you? I was gonna say, have you always played drums? Or I guess did you play like one instrument before and then kind of move into drums like a little later in life?
No, you know, I guess if you want to count trumpet as an instrument, but other than that, no, only drums. And yeah, as far as strings go, I'm basically clueless on, so I'll let the other guys kind of handle that.
That's actually normally how it goes. Actually, for me, I actually was a strings guy. I actually played the cello way back in the day, and
Oh, nice.
I did a little bit of bass, but I never got past like the standard tuning with like
Yeah.
E, A, D, and G. That's pretty much as far
Mhm.
as it went. Actually, no, I shouldn't say that, but I did actually mess around with like a little down tuning because I actually did one of Lifehouse's songs, which was slightly down tuned a little bit. I forget what it was called to be honest, but it was from the song Everything. So,
Okay.
so actually, it was a live
I,
video.
I
So my
love
proud achievement.
bass.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, bass is such a, you know, unspoken of instrument. You know, it really kind of is the back piece of the band. I mean, you got to fill two roles. You got to hang with the other string guys, and also, you know, throw in some extra rhythm and, you know, some low end to the mix. So I mean, it's one of the most important roles out there, if you ask me.
Among them. Even though I think us drummers were the ones that always counted in. We're like 1, 2, 3, 4.
Yeah.
So I think we're the I was gonna say bread and butter, but I thought maybe the keystone.
Yes.
So when you think about it, yeah. All right. So I guess how'd you meet you guys for Lux Extermina? So I guess were you guys all from the same school?
Mostly, we're all, you know, it's a tight knit community down here for the most part. But we're all rather local, and you know, we're just a bunch of dudes. Just like, hey, you want to like jam, and you know, that turned into you know, we can make something out of this, and just kept pushing forward. We're only about our year in, coming up this month. So I mean, it's been going great as far as that goes. You know, we all met each other, you know, just kind of out and about, whether it was in school, at the bar, or, you know, through music in general anyway. So it's a great music community down here in Virginia. A lot of guys, you know, we're all, you know, super close and, you know, help each other out when they need. And, you know, it's a really nice thing.
That's good to hear. Actually, I do have more questions about that in just a little bit, and I will actually tie in with COVID here too. But I guess whose idea was the Lux Extermina name? I guess was that Jackie or one of those guys?
Yeah, you know, it was actually our vocalist, Ethan Duncan. You know, funny thing is, we were playing for like 6 months and already had a full set list before we even had a band name. We're like, eventually, guys, we're gonna have to call ourselves something other than potential band, as we call ourselves in the chat for the longest time. And then we ran a little vote in the band chat, and Ethan's, I guess, name kind of won the vote. We went with that, and yeah. And I guess for a little background on the name Lux Extermina, it's actually Latin for exterminate light. So,
I didn't feel that much. So, yeah. Actually, I do remember if you switch the L and then X around, it's actually darkness. So Zul, I guess how you pronounce it.
Really?
Actually, yeah.
Nice.
Actually, a little shout out to Behemoth for actually having that song on their Demigod album. Actually, I didn't notice too, but actually Carl Sanders from Nile actually played guitar on that song too.
Mm-hmm.
So it's interesting concept right there too. But hey, you learned something about metal here too, because most of us tend to get like a little smart with our words at times.
Right.
Especially when you start getting to more of the gory sort of bands there too.
Oh yeah, they have a book page long name for each song and album.
It's like a name I like. I didn't even learn this in high school. I don't even know what you guys are talking about. So yeah. So, okay.
It's funny stuff.
I guess how would you describe the genre of music?
For us, we're kind of leaning more towards a kind of like a hardcore / beatdown, mixed in with a little bit of metalcore, I would say. We really haven't put a strong label to ourselves too, because we also want the flexibility to kind of do whatever we want, really. Our vocalist is really talented and able to also sing clean style vocals as well as brutal screams. So we kind of definitely want to dive on both sides of the fence and really just kind of have fun with it,
That's what we're supposed to do in music. So yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, did you mention like when did you start taking up drums? Because I wasn't sure if this was actually when you were like back in like school, for instance, like playing along with like the band or the ensemble, or even in college.
Yeah. I started, kind of dabbling around in drums at the age of 16, and which is relatively, later than most people would start playing. And I just kind of was dabbling around in it for about 2 years, and then I really enjoyed doing it. So I was like, you know what, I'm gonna try to find some guys and do some music together. And after that, I just kind of fell in love with it, and really started applying myself to it, and it's been that ever since. Never stopped learning.
I'd say, hey, join the club. I just played on my drums. And,
yeah.
And actually, do you roll with an acoustic set, or do you sometimes mix around with an electronic set and a regular set?
No, straight acoustic. Yeah.
That's good to hear. I guess you want to discuss the gear that you do have right now, just in terms of, I guess, just your drum set, and then we'll get into everybody else just a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, I'm rocking with a Thomas Superstar. It is a 4-piece, just kick, snare, rack, tom, floor. And I'm actually playing Mino Classic Dark cymbals, with the exception of my China, which is a Sabian S series dark. So it's been a great drum set so far. Been loving that. As far as my mic setup goes, I'm using actually right now only just some high-end Nady mic set, and some Sennheiser overheads, and also a I have a Rode NT1 that I use for like room mic stuff. So yeah.
Actually, since you're the audio engineer, do you guys DIY like all your music, or have you gone to like an actual studio in your neck of the woods?
All DIY, baby, all DIY. We actually we actually rent a storage unit that's not too far from my house, and basically did a lot of soundproofing in it, and just kind of turned it into our own, and just kind of took it from there.
They seem to be putting like storage units up just as much as they would probably like a restaurant, for instance, because I know we got a whole bunch out of my neck of the woods. Actually, I don't know how the rules work, but I guess how did you actually work it out? Like, say, like, hey, we want to soundproof this area so we can do band practice, that sort of stuff. How's that even work?
It was just actually a casual conversation with my landlord, who actually, go through my house renting through, and I was just like, hey, man, just kind of pitched him my idea. It's like, yeah, that's fine. It's been a while since we've had some people play music up here, and so just kind of took it and ran with it. And in return, we also try to look around, kind of keep the place nice that's in and around the storage area, and just kind of make it our own, and pick up trash as we see laying around, just try to do our part, and as a way of saying thanks to letting us do our thing up there. So
I'll tell you, the landlord's a good person because all landlords seem to get a bad rap these days.
oh yeah. So it took us a while. Even before I had the idea to do it up there, I'd asked around for a very long time. Hey, do you allow? Because I wanted to have a place where I could set my drums up and play. Because living in the city, a lot of neighbors don't really find that too appeasing. So, and I was getting turned down left and right, and I was like, oh my gosh, man, I'm gonna have to buy an electronic kit. But then eventually, came up, and now I'm here, the makeshift studio inside of a storage unit.
We would say that's when the heavens open up and the lights shine down, but I would say, unfortunately, we're part of Lux Extermina then.
Yeah, it wouldn't really fit the name at that point.
No, I'd be like, are you sure you want to exterminate that line?
Yeah, so, exactly.
I mean, I know Incantation, I know how heavy into death metal or anything else. I mean, they're extinguishing salvation, so. So, okay, I'm close enough there too. And I guess in terms of like influences here too, I guess, so who really inspired you in terms of drums? Was it pretty much mostly drummers in metalcore, or have you looked pretty much in various genres?
Definitely varying genres. Me personally, like I said, initially, my family got me into music. Then after that, started listening to hair metal and stuff like, 80s, 90s rock music. I was like, oh man, this is sick. And then, like my mind was totally blown after like discovering like stuff like Breaking Benjamin, Disturbed, like the now, sadly enough to say, people call it dad rock. And I was like, man, this is awesome. And then I started getting into heavier music, and tried to reflect that in my playing, back at the, back in the day. And I was like, dude, I can't play this shit. But then, just kept practicing and, really trying to pick it apart, and, just, I guess it, with slow process and, kind of fall in love with it. So it's been, great as far as that goes. But to name a few, I guess, main bands that I would say inspiring me right now that are on the upper levels of music, I would say more recently bands like Gideon, Born of Osiris, Throne. Let's see. A lot of just kind of beat down metalcore kind of genre stuff, but it's funny when you get put on the spot to name your favorite bands. You have like 50 million of them floating around in your head to try to pull some out of the air with. But yeah, if it's got a fat beat and a heavy riff, I'm usually sold. So.
I can know what you mean there too. Yeah, I think I don't even know the drummer's name from Between the Buried. I mean, it's like, damn, that guy's good.
Oh yeah.
It's like I can't even keep up. I don't even know how this guy's even counting, to be honest here too. I struggle just trying to do 4/4 at times. So.
Yeah.
But,
yeah, they're definitely sick.
That's for sure.
From out of this world.
It's funny way much about 80s too, because I've actually got more into like doing like Slayer now. I'm tied up like Death Angels, the Ultraviolence, and even like maybe. I'm saying maybe, but I think I could do maybe a couple songs from Dark Angels, Darkness Descends.
Yeah.
don't know. I think that's going to be probably a challenge too, because my shoulder got strained recently, so I'm blaming certain music too for it. So you can see why.
Oh yeah, holding your shoulder up like that for a good extended amount of time, especially after playing an hour-long set, man, it starts wearing on you.
I think there's that. I think, unfortunately, I went to the gym and did shoulder press, and it's been a couple weeks. So unfortunately, I maybe put a little too much on.
Yeah.
It's one of those things, like, I get like maybe here, but I can't like tilt it upwards or anything. So it's like, damn it. All right.
Yeah, that's tough.
Yeah. Oh well. Live and learn, as we say. Right.
Oh yeah.
But to get into the hard topic of COVID right here too. So obviously, it's not like this band was formed. Seemed like in like the later part when COVID seemed like winding down. But I guess how bad was COVID for you personally? And then if you want to discuss like anybody else in the band, and I guess music wise and in your neck of the woods, go ahead.
You know, me personally, if we're talking on the artistic side of things with COVID, not all the rest of the worldly issues that went along with it, artistically, it was like some of the fastest rising moments of my musical, artistical side of things, really, because I mean, we had lots of time, couldn't really go out and do anything else. So I spent a lot of time during those months learning, applying myself, you know, sticking to myself, and just trying to, I guess, get better at, you know, what I enjoy doing. And come to think of it, around that time is when me and Jackie, you know, really started playing heavily together as well too. And like I said, there wasn't really anything else to do except stay away from other people. So really gave us a chance to really kind of crack down and, you know, learn each other as musicians, and you know, start stabbing away at, you know, creating stuff. So as far as artistic side of things goes, I think you know, it really was a good thing. To the contrary of it being a, you know, a bad epidemic. So
I would say, yeah, there have been people who have said that was a blessing in disguise, because one, and I always said this was the greatest benefit of it, was I get to stay home.
right.
And actually, had the best benefit is still having a job and then taking naps during lunch break. So, it was
exactly.
So I know that, and it also allowed people to like expand and like to other areas, like social media. Like you started a YouTube channel. That was kind of my story whenever I got around to it. And then I guess, what were you doing before COVID?
Before COVID, well, you know, me and Jackie was actually in another band that we were, you know, kind of going through and trying to do, and you know, it was kind of a trial and error for a long time, to the point to where we got to Lux. So I mean, it was we never really, you know, got past the, hey, let's all try to make it to practice at the same time, same place. You know, that's always like 70% of the battle when it comes to bands. It's just everyone getting at the same place at the same time is challenging. So I mean, you know, we were still chipping away at it, and it wasn't really a full vision in work until I would say really about like 2021, 2-ish. So I mean, it was always, you know, kind of floating around the idea of, hey, you know, this is cool, we should do this kind of thing. But the ball really didn't get rolling until around that time. So
I see. I guess just real quick, did you have any brushes with COVID? Were you and your immediate family okay?
yes, actually, you know, we all had a round of you know, the virus, and was, you know, kind of put down for a while. But you know, we all made it through, and you know, we're kicking and alive and well. So
I was say they put you on those little Paxlovid pills.
no, actually, you know, I'm not sure how say we kind of really didn't seek any medical help. We just kind of stuck to ourselves. No vaccines or anything like that. And just practice, basic social distancing and kind of, I mean, it worked out for us. I know in higher populated areas and stuff, it was, really a problem. But luckily, we're not in a very populated zone. So, I mean, it's a little easier to social distance than, a lot of other places. So,
That's for sure. Actually, I was going to we're going to improvise. Fuck it. That old deal.
Yeah,
So,
pretty much.
all right. But jokes aside, good to see you are doing well there, mate. So it's good to have you guys around here for the ride. So,
of course. You as well, and I appreciate the opportunity.
No worries. And, sorry, I was going to jump ahead to this, but I guess how's been the music scene been like in your neck of the woods and in Richmond? Because I don't know if you guys have done any sort of touring or anything like that. So I guess how's the music scene been in around like your area in Richmond?
The music industry in Virginia has been, very alive and well as far as the metal scene goes. Just to give out, like some, quick shout outs around our area. We got great bands and great music coming out of Virginia. To name a few, would be To Be a King, Vera Alta, Ooga Booga, Disposed, Sacrificial Betrayal, Sight of Suffering, Heemeyer. We got Diseased Earth, God of Nothing, Bend the Knee, Breach the Silence. All great, in my opinion, underrated bands that deserve some recognition, if I were to say. And that's just to name, a few in our local surrounding area. I mean, we haven't went on tour ourselves or went out a lot. We're trying to get the background scene of ourselves developed first before we really kind of start sticking our neck out there and traveling. Kind of want to make sure all our, I's are dotted, T's crossed kind of thing before we start venturing out past our, our comfort zone. So, but, be on the lookout for those guys. They're great as well. We're all super tight, and I guess to those guys and anyone else who's watching, if I forgot to mention you, it's nothing personal. I'm just spitting off some names. But yeah, I mean, the music scene down here is, flourished. A lot of great, venues in Richmond. A lot of great venues in Roanoke, the Virginia Beach area. Some Northern Virginia areas as well. And yeah, I mean,
That's very good to hear. And the last couple of interviews I had, they have said like how the music scene like their neck of the woods has been like the up and up. Because like I don't know if it was just like bad timing on my part whenever I was like asking the question like past interviews. Because normally when I brought it up, they were always saying like how it was kind of on a downward trajectory, and then COVID just like shot to like rock bottom, to say the least. And then like it's in like a whole bunch of tribute bands and cover bands, which I'm assuming you're probably seeing maybe a good bit. Probably some of those Journey ones always sing "Don't Stop Believing." That's their deal. And I'm from the Pittsburgh region, so I don't know too much about indie. Not to say like there are like a whole bunch of indie bands in around like my neck of the woods, because I do know a friend of mine who is actually in a metal band, and I don't know. It seems like it's kind of a mixed bag. I guess it depends on like economics too, I guess, whenever you think about it. So, but that's just me speculating. So,
yeah, I said here in Virginia specifically, I would say there is a lot of I guess you would say indie bands, bluegrass. I mean, it's a huge slew of different backgrounds of music, which is a really good thing. I think, in order for any music scene to flourish, I think there needs to be a variety and a constant, because it helps the venues out too, being able to have a constant rotating, fan base visiting your place, in and out throughout the week. So, I mean, having a good variety of different styles of music inside of a, a state, region, or what have you is kind of important in my eyes. So, That's just kind of my take on it.
I think you'd be right. But I think the thing that kind of ticks me off, at least nowadays, is, and I'm not too sure if you experienced this too, I guess, with any previous bands, but I think it was like, instead of, I guess, like, how many people do you think you can bring in? It's like, how many streams do you got, like, on Spotify?
Yeah.
I was like, dude, if I can bring in 200 people, aren't you going to be happy that they're actually getting, like, say, appetizers or probably emptying out your liquor cabinet or something?
Exactly, you would think, huh?
Like I said, have you experienced something like that?
In a way, you know, I know to get a good spot, I guess, say on a bill, they definitely look for, a strong online social presence. And which, funny enough, now it is today, like if you're not making TikTok videos or silly reels and stuff like that, you're not probably not getting a ton of traffic. Unless you've been, well known and been around the area. It's a different marketing strategy out there nowadays than it was, 15 years ago. I mean, it's totally changed. I mean, you can, try to, kind of still do it the old way, but it's definitely a lot different nowadays. And that's one thing we're kind of battling and trying to figure out along the way as well is trying to find out, okay, how can we grab the attention of others in a quick, seamless way without having to travel the world for nothing. And so, I mean, it's a learning process.
So the day you could travel the world for free.
Right.
That would be the day.
Exactly.
I'd say it's the impossible utopian dream we want. Actually, speaking of which, I actually did see a simulation video that talked about how they would make like those like elevators that could probably take you up into space to like a space station, for instance. And I'm thinking like that'd be nice, but I think at the same time that'd be pretty crazy. Consider like gravity and all that other stuff playing a factor in. So not to get off topic, but I just thought it was kind of a little cute. So okay. But it is good to hear about the music industry in your neck of the woods there too. And I guess still kind of sticking on that topic here too, I guess. Have you noticed like any recording studios like in your neck of the woods? Any like big names?
Not really. It's all, I guess, kind of from my knowledge, there's a lot of just kind of DIY, stuff kind of going on in people's basements or, for instance, a storage unit but all talented, producers, as far as that I can name or know. But as far as, any kind of big label or anything else in Virginia or around my neck of the woods, so to say, is not that I'm aware of. So that's kind of why I took it upon myself to, it's like, all right, if we're going to do it, I've got to learn this, save money and, it can only benefit, so. But,
because actually, what were you going to say? Sorry.
I would say the closest one that I can think of is actually a studio in Pennsylvania, which is about a 4-hour hike from where I'm at. I think it's called, Atrium Audio, and they've had a good amount of bigger bands and stuff come through that they've done. So
I was trying to remember because I actually interviewed a friend of mine out of Maryland, and his band's actually called Delinda, so go check him out. Okay. No, his friend actually has a studio. That's right. I was trying to remember if it was that Atrium studio that you mentioned there too. Just wanted to make sure I'm not getting mixed up. So, and I guess how tough is it being audio engineer in your case too? Because are you just kind of emailing people, be like, hey, I'll do this service for you? I guess how's it work?
I kind of been only doing it, I guess for myself. Until I get really good at it, I didn't want to stick my neck out there and be like, hey, let me shittily record your band and you be upset with me and this, that, and the other. So I really just kind of started dialing it in, and I guess wanted to use my own band as a source of promotion for that other side of the business, rather than, because I mean, you can't just, you got to have like a stepping stone in there somewhere, like a proof of work, I guess you would say. So, like I said, everything's still kind of new and fresh. So, I guess we'll kind of see more about that question as we kind of trudge along here and, kind of promote.
I don't do it, yeah. Actually, I was thinking so much of Glenn from Sound Spectre Studios. And
Uh,
I don't know if you've seen his YouTube show and everything too, but this is always cute too, because I always got a kick out of like some of the stuff, like some of the messages he would get, or like maybe some other like sound or like audio engineers would send to him like being like, hey, I got this message from like this jagoff right here that was like saying like, hey, I'll give you exposure to that whole deal if you just do my music for free. So,
yeah,
I don't
the
know if it's
old
like that sort
day
of
old
experience.
age deal, right?
I mean, hey, exposure would be nice, but hey, I need money. I got
Right.
covered the field and I got bills to pay, man.
Yeah, huh? Exposure doesn't put food in my mouth.
It would be nice. So
Right?
yeah. But best of luck on your journey, then, mate. So I guess proud.
Ah, trying, man.
And I guess still going off that, I guess, what sort of gear do you use, I guess, for the music production? I guess if you want to list what gear your bandmates use, go ahead.
Okay. So, as far as music production go or hardware gear goes for the rest of the guys?
Let's do both. I got some time.
Okay. So as far as hardware goes, we're actually running a 5150 guitar amp with a actually it's a PV cab that was paired with the 5150, and it runs through a Boss pedal board. I want to say it's like the BT6 or something like that. And that's a Jackie setup. I think he's running a multi-scale. Oh, Jesus. Let's say like ESP or something like that. We play 7 strings. And the other guy, Woody, he is running a Legator. He's actually been playing a Legator 8 string, but I don't use the 8th string too much. And he's also running at the moment a Line 6 cabin amp, which actually has been holding its ground pretty well. I know Line 6 gets a lot of laugh and hate, but no, it's it sounds good, so we're running with it. Our bass player Jonah is using a ESP 4 string at the moment, but we're going to be upping it to 5s very soon. And a Trace Adkins bass head unit. And Ethan is using a I think he uses Sennheiser for his vocals for live stuff, and we just kind of hook up house PAs and stuff like that when running vocals. But as far as production goes, the only thing DI we run is the strings. We even do like a little mix of the amp and DI as far as that goes. And I use for my DAW, I use Cubase Pro, which is it's been nice. I'm used to it, so I'm kind of biased on it. But as far as like metal production goes, I wouldn't say it's the number one choice for a DAW, but like I said, it's all what you're used to. It's all pretty much the same thing when you get into DAWs. And as far as I've already mentioned my mics, earlier that I used to mic the drums, and using raw drum tone with also the help of a little bit of samples blended in, just that's what's the norm nowadays. And it's been a learning process to say the least. Like I said, this is actually my first run through really of doing an audio engineer job to this extent. So it's definitely kind of a touch and go learning process. So, been enjoying the road that, been taken to get there, but it's definitely a lot involved that people don't see.
So. I mean, like they said, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. So yeah.
Yes.
So I'll see why. And I guess, do you guys always carpool? I don't know if you've got any shows planned this year, or what are you doing something for next year?
Yeah, we actually have a show coming up at Smiley's Barbecue Grill and Rafine, and then shortly after that we have another show in December coming up with opening up for God of Nothing, and a bunch of other great bands. And the one at Smiley's is actually a pretty big local show. We got like 6 bands on the bill, so I'm really looking forward to that. A lot of our homies are all playing in their bands, so it'll be a good, wholesome time. And it's like I said earlier, as far as shows go, we're kind of doing it mainly just to kind of build our band purse up to be able to, get merch, new plugins, gear, and like I said, really try to build our, I guess, foundation before we start, really kind of. Whoa.
I thought at first that was a curtain, but man, that was your cat getting behind you there. That's a good blooper.
Yeah, we're good.
I guess you still want to roll with this.
Yeah, it's fine.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, catch up. Oh man.
Yeah, they you know how cats are, man. They'd like to go everywhere.
All right. All right. Good to see you okay there. But anyway, was there anything else you wanted to add?
Like I said, we're just trying to build our background up and have a foundation to stand on to really be able to support ourselves as we kind of move forward. So I mean, the shows that we do with the people that come out, we're always greatly appreciative of it, and it means a lot to us. So
that's good to hear. Yeah. It's good to see you guys got some good friends out there too, especially being able to play with other groups as well. So that's good to hear. Okay. I guess in terms of like how you guys create the songs, for instance, so like Depths of Depravity, for instance, did you guys like maybe start with the music first and put the lyrics in last, or does sometimes have the lyrics and then you just put the music around it?
Yeah, so we do a little bit of both. Actually, as far as lyrics and songwriting goes, he actually wrote, since he wasn't able to make it today, he actually wrote a little something to kind of add. So I'll speak on his behalf when it comes to that. And put it up now.
Oh, he sent us a message.
Yeah. So in his words, he says he really doesn't fully know what inspires his lyrical content. He likes to keep it more in the realm of dark and bizarre. And if he had to answer, he usually just kind of listens to the song a few times and kind of, I guess, makes it seem how it makes him feel. And then he takes that and kind of writes off of that. And, he tries to keep his vocals centered around that feeling and tell, a small story that's based around that feeling. Or if it's not so much of a story song and it's more just like, kind of in your face, just kind of keep that energy going and say some off the wall stuff to, I guess, accentuate the song itself. So, and as far as writing music goes, sometimes it comes and goes, man. I mean, sometimes you just get writer's block, don't know what to do. And sometimes it just flows so much. You're like, oh my God, we got all this material. We need to sort through it and really kind of pick through what we want. But to start off, like I said, me and Jackie's been playing for quite some time. And we got I would say about like 4 songs ready before we kind of introduced the rest of the guys to the band, and we just kind of took what we had already written and be like, all right, well, let's write some songs based off of this, and kind of keep the same energy going. And that's kind of how it goes. I mean, we just kind of really jam, hang out, and then like I'll record like on my phone or something, just something quick, just like as we're free jamming. We'll go back and later as we're sitting around relaxing and stuff, we'll go back later and listen to it and be like, oh, that part's really cool. Let's take that, and then we will put it to say like a grid or something, and build off of it. So that's kind of like the process there. Because I mean, if you just jam without no recollection of it, you'll never keep it. I'd never remember anything at jam really, unless I record it. I guess no.
Well, that one just fell on its own. I guess because the other one fell forward. Right. But actually, I was gonna say there's still a democratic process after all. So
yeah,
it was either that or even it was gonna be like, we're not establishing a democracy in this house.
I
rule
as I say, and you like it.
Yeah.
No.
That'll deal. Actually, were you real big into like Aquitaine Hunger Force at all?
I know what it is. I wouldn't say I've watched a lot of it, but I have seen, quite a few episodes, I would say.
I would say it's one of the quotes was blown up. That's the deal. But
yeah.
it was actually really perfect, and unfortunately, it was a foreshadowing of what came into politics these days. So think about it that way. So
yeah,
that's cool. But I guess Jackie or Ethan kind of did answer the question for one of those ones there. But I guess what sort of topics do you guys like to delve into whenever he gets like the lyrics down?
Like I said, it kind of we leave that all solely up to Ethan. I mean, every now and again I'll just like, hey man, we got some lyric ideas, and he wants to use it, he can. If not, that's no big deal. But I would say, we just kind of, go with the flow, really. I mean, we're trying to keep to a dark aspect of things, but in a light manner, I guess you would say.
In a Lux manner, so yeah.
Yes. So I mean, we're trying to, I guess what I would describe it as, we're trying to play both sides of the fence. We're trying to have some like light, heartfelt melodies, as well as which these have been unheard yet to online public, I guess you would say. Kind of keep it light on some things, and then also like bring in like super heavy, burn like drop A tuning. So I mean, super heavy riffs and beat down stuff, but also have a sense of, light melodies, intertwined with it. So.
It was like the way you guys described it earlier. It was like, do you know the band Carnifex by any chance?
Yeah.
I was going to say, the way the singer guy described it was, no matter what the situation is, even if we're in the best mood possible, everything's going to be dark.
Yeah.
So that's why I thought you guys were going at first, but it's like, okay, they're gray. We'll say it's that way. So,
yeah, say as of right now, everything we have written is just like straight in your face, heavy. But like I said, we all come from different music backgrounds as a whole, so we would like to implement those, down the road, and like I said, just kind of see how things play out. So I say it's like, when I say light, I'm kind of meaning like a still eerie but beautiful, I guess, kind of dark, like a beautiful dark. Yeah. As far as that goes, so.
You'd probably say like the sirens of like what those mythologies, because our stories, like how they swoon you in with like that sweet voice. That's a monster at the end of the tunnel. So yeah.
Exactly.
Oh gosh, no. So yeah. All right. So I think I might have touched on this earlier, but I guess so. What challenges do you guys face these days as musicians?
I would say, the hardest part about music isn't the music itself, not about your playability and being able to shred or do this, that, or the other. It's really about how you mesh with the people around you, being able to, I guess, if I were to put it into sports terms, not hog the ball. You know, like if you're playing basketball, it's a 5-man team. You know what I mean? So I mean, you gotta be able to pass the ball willingly and really just kind to you're working as a team. So with that in mind, you know, like as far as writing and stuff like that goes, we really try to keep our minds open, even if like say we're like, oh, I just wrote a new riff last night, you know, like check it out. Even if it sucks, we're like we're like, oh yeah, we'll try to, you know, like use it. And you know, like we're always listening, and we're always, you know, open to all ideas. um, but really truthfully, the most hardest challenging thing that no one ever talks about is being able to get 5 dudes with all busy lives outside of music in the same room at the same time. And yeah, I mean, yeah, you could track everything and be like, oh yeah, here you go. But then that kind of takes away from the multi-writing process, like the glue of everyone, you know, kind of working together. Um, Feels more robotic at that point when you're like, oh, I'm gonna send you a track, you add something to it, and then I'll send it to you, you add something to it. Which is a good alternative to, you know, if that's all you got to work with. But yeah, I would say like that's the most untalked about thing, and you know, forming a band, being a successful band is you know, just all being able to get together at the same time and, you know, work on your craft.
I wasn't sure if you guys also had some sort of lineup issues when you initially started off, or has these guys been the same since the beginning?
Um, well, we've definitely had lineup issues as far as you know, bands in the past and trying to uh, form what we are now, and that's always the worst feeling ever. You finally get, you know, like a set list down, you gotta basically scrap it because this, that, or the other happened, or you know, it not working out for whatever reason, and you know, it's a tough letdown. But if you just kind of push through it and just keep your nose to the grindstone, keep your head held up high, you know, you work around it. But yeah, it's. But as far as for Lux Extermina as it is now, we you know, all original members, and you know, we're all pretty tight, so it's going well. I think it's a best matchup I've had in, I guess, my music career so far. So
I would say Going Bright, but unfortunately that wouldn't fit with the band name, would it? So
what would that be?
I would say Going Bright, or at least the future's looking bright. You should say.
Yeah, yeah, it's not very good analogy speaking.
No, all right, fair enough. And for the next question here, I guess, what social media are you guys on? I don't know. Do you handle anything with social media wise, or is that strictly your one guitar player?
Yeah, yeah, we kind of gang up on a little bit. He kind of takes the main role of it, but you know, I'm helping out in the background, keeping things organized, or you know, and stuff like that. At the moment, we're trying to push Linktree, which, you know, kind of binds all of our social medias together while also trying to build our social media. But right now, our main source of promoting has been through Facebook, and our song released. It's on Apple Music, it's on Spotify, it's on YouTube. But as far as like our main promotion goes, I would say Facebook, Instagram, and we're working towards a TikTok, but trying to get everything else settled first.
Yeah, I don't know about TikTok because I want to jump on it too, but I think it's always confusing me right now because I thought there was that whole thing going on Capitol Hill. I thought they were still in China, and then
exactly. That's why I haven't gotten into it either.
So I thought it was that reason. So
yeah, yeah, I agree. But man, it's a powerhouse in the marketing game right now. but it's a different beast than what I'm personally used to. Um, that'll be definitely more of Jackie's domain whenever we dive into that. Um, but yeah, like I said, we're all still learning and getting our feet wet. And then once we feel like, all right, we're swimming, man, but then you realize you're swimming in a deeper ocean than than what's out there. It's overwhelming, but in a good way. You know.
I was trying to figure the analogy. It was like small fish in a big pond or something.
Yeah.
So, right. And I don't know if you guys are a part of this Facebook group, but if you are, it's at least good. But otherwise, if you're not, it's called Band Together, and it's actually got a whole bunch of other indie artists from around the world. So feel free
Actually,
to
yeah,
join and share music on there. So,
absolutely.
yeah. But leading into this question right here, I guess, what advice would you give to musicians, including your friends in around your neck of the woods, and then musicians on social media?
If it's something you really love, then you'll push for it and you'll do it. Um, but the biggest advice I could say is, and it's so cliche to say, but don't give up. Really set if you really want to be successful in what you do, and this goes for anything really, you gotta aside time for it. I mean, that comes along with sacrifices, like um, it comes along with a lot of time. You got to spend into it. I would love to say that people just was born into great talent and they're just like, oh yeah, I got this, but no, I mean it's 90% practice and figuring out yourself who you are. And as far as just in general, if you're starting a band and you're wanting to pursue it, just like I said, sometimes it takes some sacrifice. Sometimes you're going to be dead tired after work, not feel like doing anything. It doesn't matter. You got to go. And if you're going to do it, you got to do it tired. And at the end of it, 98% of the time, you're going to feel better about it that you went. And there's tons of days where I'm just like, man, I don't feel like doing this today. And then like the hardest part of anything is starting it and getting the ball rolling. Once you get the momentum behind you, everything else starts kind of falling into place. But the hardest part of anything is starting it. And once you get started, if you're really into it, it'll go along with you. So
Yeah,
yep,
that's for sure. So
practice
taking
and
the first step.
dedication.
Yep. Taking the first step, the hardest thing to do
Yep,
when it comes to certain
absolutely.
projects. I would say if you are a little tired though, take a little nap.
Yeah, if you got time for it, absolutely.
Yeah, definitely. So, all right. So Alex, we basically questions here pretty good. So here, let's get into the fun ones. Ready?
All right, let's do it.
All right. So start with the first one right here. I guess. What would you consider as your favorite food?
My favorite food, man, if I had to pick, I would definitely say this is going to be a broader answer. It's got to be Japanese food and Mexican food of any kind. Um, Tacos, nachos, sushi, hibachi style meat and rice. You can't beat it. So, and then smoked meats. I'm also a chef too, so I mean I do all kinds of food all day long, and so I mean it's a I like a wide variety. But if I had to pick two broader categories, it would definitely be Chinese food and Mexican style food.
I thought you said Japanese at first.
Yeah, I know that's
Asian food,
Asian food. Yes.
but it's a lot broader then because I think we're including the southeast there too. So
Yeah, I was gonna say. I mean, I guess I felt bad and torn between the two, so I threw it both in there.
I would say just make sure it's not made in China. So
Yes.
because I knew a friend of mine who really wants to move out to Japan, so I was trying to figure like all the different foods because I forget what YouTube channel it was, but it was actually a guy. I think he was just walking with a GoPro. He just was walking around the big city. It was a part of Tokyo because Tokyo is like fucking massive, to be honest. So,
Mm.
and I mean, it was just cool city life, to be honest, there too. Everyone's pretty chill, relaxed, and everything. So,
Yeah, it's a lot different than than New York City. Everyone's very it's a really different culture, and it's I've looked into it myself some. I like how people really are very cleanly. Like the city is very clean as opposed to a lot of other larger cities around the world. Um, it's really nice.
that's for sure. And they also make good manga and animes too.
Oh yeah, of course.
Because while we're speaking of, and this can actually tie with the next fun question here, I guess. So, what's your favorite movie? And then if you want to list a TV show and an anime or manga that you have, go ahead.
Okay. I've been really I've been getting into the Rings of Power here lately. On Netflix. Great start to a series, if you ask me. I know it's a lot of controversy going, with diehard Tolkien fans and stuff. But as far as cinema goes, I think it's really great. As far as movies go, I'm not a giant movie person, but if I had to pick a favorite movie, well, the one that always sticks in my head the most is a Will Ferrell movie called Old School. And that movie just had me cracking up laughing throughout the whole thing. So, yeah, big fan of comedy and also horror. So, but lately anymore, I don't know, horror doesn't seem to scare me as much as it used to. I guess more of the paranormal side of stuff is more on the scary side of things, if you ask me. But
Yeah, being like dragged to hell or something like that. So, yeah.
yeah.
And actually, I don't know what's really going on with Will Ferrell. I just saw him in that one commercial. He's like doing like a little, I want to say parody version. It was definitely a Fleetwood Mac song. I want to be with you everywhere, but it's like I want to pay with you everywhere or something like that. So I
Yeah.
don't know. He's been kind of on and off at times because she was in like Step Brothers, and then I forget what the one was with Mark Wahlberg, and it was like them with like being a police
The other
department.
guys.
Other guys, maybe that might have been it. So yeah. So he had some funny skits. Actually, I think the best one was always with Saturday Night Live, the whole cowbell scene. So
Yeah.
so let's see why. And actually, I think maybe some ideas from like the manga side would actually be Berserk, because I know people have talked about that like being one of the best among the many manga works that have come out of Japan. So
Yeah. Me personally, I haven't dove too much into it. I know about them, but I guess me personally, my free time ends up going towards, I like gaming, so like, and I also have kids and stuff, and so I mean, the little bit of free time that I do have, I try to put it towards band work, games, and the occasional show and movie and stuff. Watching it with the wife. So, um, but yeah, I would say, and then straight up, listening to music, finding new bands. I love that. Um, so I would say that's most of my I guess background when it comes to my free time. I don't really have a big social circle of friends that I keep up with on the daily. Small circle, which I kind of prefer it that way.
it was always
Yeah.
small in the band, yeah. So,
Yeah.
and barely your cats, even though it seems like your cats are trying to kill you.
Yeah, they do that.
Sadly. Okay, great choices nonetheless here too. But next one here, I don't know if you drink any alcohol, but if you do, what's your favorite alcoholic drink, and then what's your favorite non-alcoholic drink?
As far as alcohol goes, I don't really drink a whole lot of liquor. I'm more of a beer guy myself. But I've been really into kind of like Heineken here lately, as far as like a good, well-known beer. Um, and as far as like, I was into, Twisted Teas for a while. Those are good. Um, there's some good craft breweries around here and around the local area too that I'll go to every now and again. And as far as other drinks that are non-alcoholic, I really kind of stick to water, coffee, juice, and occasional soda here and there.
You have a preference when it comes to soda? Because I would say my top three has always been like Coke, I want to say Pepsi at times, but I think that's a Southern thing, to be honest, because I don't see too many Pepsis out here. So the
Yeah.
Mountain Dew is like another one. I actually really used to love Hawaiian Punch way back in the day, along with
Oh
Sunkist.
yeah.
It was like top 4.
Really.
I have not had
Yeah.
Hawaiian Punch in a while though, so I'm kind of feeling bad.
Yeah, I would definitely say Coke's probably my number one. And then following up with that would have to be like a orange soda, Fanta, something like that. Um, Sprite's good too for a little crisp summertime drink.
Let's
And
say I can't look at the Fanta anymore or whatever it was. I think it was like way back in the day. They did those commercials like those girls dancing or something like that. And then
yeah.
Family Guy did like a parody of it with like these old women just dancing with it. So
Oh
like,
yeah.
I cannot look at it the same way anymore. I cannot see it. So
Yep.
yeah, good choices there. And for the last one right here, what would you say is currently your favorite song? One in the mainstream world, and then if you have one in the indie community, go ahead.
Okay. Man, that's a tough one. That can it varies from mood to mood. Uh Favorite song right now in the mainstream world.
It's almost like we should do like light Alex and gray Alex and dark Alex.
Right? So let's see. Looking up my YouTube here. Like I said, I kind of I just recently started getting into Darko US, and they've got some really good heavy stuff going on there. Say song was checking out Evolving by Darko. Let's see. Spirit Box has been putting out some great stuff here lately. They just put out Soft Spine, which is killer. And I guess on a more controversial side of things with the new Linkin Park stuff. I'm gonna say it's not bad. Diving in, I guess a little side, getting a little sidetracked, but not a huge fan of her covering Chester's older music. But I think what they're doing as a newer, I guess, band, a fresh start, I think they're off to a good start, if you ask me. And I guess on Sleep Tokens, they're cool. Another great band that I just recently started getting into is Sleep Theory. They're really cool. They have a song they put out called Enough, which I think is really good. It's kind of more on like the hard rock side of things. And as far as like some local guys go around the area, Vera Alta just put out a new song and single called, I think it was What I've Become or Becoming or something like that. And also Disposed just put out a new kind of hardcore song called Flesh Vessel. It's pretty heavy. So let's see, name a few more. Just like new releases that popped up in my head. Fishing around inside. I can't think of another one to really say or shout out at the moment on the top of my head. Yeah, I guess I mentioned, previously with all the other bands are all super sick bands that are relatively local. So, I guess I'm bad with names. So, but yeah, I mean it's
You and me both, so don't worry about it. So.
Yeah, I would definitely be the guy that fails, like wearing a band T-shirt and be like, someone comes up to me and be like, name 3 songs. Be like, dude, I'll drum 3 songs for you, but naming them, I probably can't. So it's just kind of one of those things.
Yeah, gotta memorize all the names of the titles. So that's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. There's an extensive list there too, but I guess we gotta make sure you can only pick one. That whole deal. So
yeah,
it's all good too. So it's good to get all those shouts out too. So and I guess before you cat knocked it over, I guess was that paint behind you? Was that something you bought, or did you make that yourself for AI?
No, it was a painting my wife got for me, and I just kind of slapped it up there for today's purposes, and the cats didn't like it, I guess, and basically gave me a good old screw you kind of deal. It's
Assassination
just,
attempt that failed. So yeah.
yeah.
So, and actually, while we're on that topic here, real quick, before we jump into the last question, I guess, what's your opinion of AI? You think you guys kind of use it a little bit, or you think maybe it's not a good place in the music world?
It is. It's a useful tool, but man, it's I think it's going to be the death of a lot of things, and the death to a lot of creative artists out there, especially if you're just first starting out and you're really trying to put yourself out there. And I mean, don't get me wrong, it's nice to have that technology, but I think it'll eventually crush a lot of you know, a lot of different things, and it'll kind of trickle its way down throughout, the artistic world. Um, but like I said, I mean, it could be it's a double-edged sword kind of deal. I mean, it's a lot of good, a lot of bad. Um, it's it's gonna be a scary but good thing. I know there's gonna be a lot of people out there using it for the wrong reasons, but there's a lot of great things coming out too. Especially, I guess, Elon Musk is putting out that Neuralink, which I think is going to be the start to something crazy, huge. If you ask me. But as far as like the artistic side of things and music goes, it's just you're not going to be able to know what's real anymore. Like it's going to be very
Matrix.
confusing.
So yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's gonna be stupid. But it's like I said, it's a good tool. It's got its benefits, no doubt, but you know, I just I do worry for the artistic people out there trying to do their thing, and you just got AI kind of rolling over that kind of stuff, and so we try to support local as much as we can, especially when it comes to graphic design, of course, like music writing and stuff, and uh, I always say support local if you can. If you know someone who can do it, go through them. You know what I mean? But that's my take on it.
Yeah. Tread carefully, because I don't really like to say. So
Yeah.
love to say what happens, but I'm not too sure. But I know it's a little bit of a mixed bag. It seems like when people are tight on a budget, then yeah, okay, fine. Let's get
Yes.
for that single cover you need to make out.
I know it.
So,
but like I said, it's definitely a touchy, I guess, subject. It's still fresh, new to the world and game. So I'd like to see great things come out of it, and I hope great things do come out of it. But,
hopefully. So.
Yeah, we can only hope, right? But yeah.
Right. We'll see what happens, but tread carefully, mate. Right. Mm-hmm. So, Alex, we're down to one more question in my podcast right here, I guess. So before we jump into it, you got any questions for me or any final words you want to say before we jump into it?
Let's see. No, I mean, go ahead and jump into it, I suppose.
All right, sounds good. So, given what COVID's done, obviously, seems you and your bandmates been pretty blessed. You formed this group right here, going to start kicking some ass and maybe do some touring down the East Coast at some point, but we'll see what happens. But regardless, for those musicians and people who've been impacted by COVID or anything else in their lives, what sort of message of hope could you give to musicians and people out there as we try to move forward in the post-COVID world?
I guess a message of hope would be to, kind of just join, communities, band with your fellow brothers, sisters, and, friends, family, and everywhere else that, or like I said, there's great communities out there. You just kind of got to go out there and venture and meet new people. And it's a technology, doesn't really build a strong, I guess, family, friend to friend basis kind of kind of deal. So like, I guess a message of hope would be, you know, to, you know, just kind of get out there and, you know, meet new people, take the risk. You know, even if you, there's it's great experiences along the way, even if, you know, you're not making it to the big screen or big, you know, stage or whatever, there's always tons of, you know, experiences to, you know, have fun with and that'll benefit you. You know, it's a great community out there. Everyone's, you know, big family. Once you get out there, everyone's, you know, everyone's cool for the most part that I've, you know, seen or witnessed, been around. So, yeah, like I said, as long as people just keep going forward, you know, I'm not really sure what else to say more on that, but
I'd say along these lines, don't let the bastards drag you down. So
exactly, yes.
Hey, and spoke like a true prodigy. All right, so Alex, we reached my podcast right here. We talked for close to about an hour, 20 minutes. It might be a little less because we started about a couple of minutes late, but I guess nonetheless, got any final words? Any other shouts you want to give? Because I know you gave some earlier with some of the groups in your neck of the woods there.
Yep, Virginia metal, baby. It's on the up and up. Check us out, Lux Extermina. New single out, Depths of Depravity. Follow us on social medias, and hope to see more people out, meet new people.
That's for sure. Yeah. And I guess just real quick, just for the audience, like, can you just list any social media, I guess any shows you got coming up this year and even next year?
Yeah, like I said, we have one in at Smiley's Barbecue Place. It's actually a big venue. It's really cool. Got one coming up November 23rd, a couple days before Thanksgiving. So if you're looking for something to do with your cousins and uncles and stuff, and want to come throw down at a metal show, I mean, tons of great bands will be there, and that's our closest one coming up. And like I said, look out for us, you know, on social media and stuff as we, you know, continue to post and you know, try to build ourselves up. And like I said, we're always open to co-promoting. So if any other artists out there want to, you know, collaborate on some co-promotions and stuff like that, we're always more than, you know, welcome to do that kind of thing. So yeah.
All right.
I'm happy you've reached out to us and, you know, gave us the opportunity to speak and give us some of your time to allow us to do so.
No worries. Thanks again so much for responding and also coming on here too. So I know I had to fly solo. And
yeah, but it's all right, I suppose.
I guess so. Tell Jack gave us today, as well as the rest of the band there too, mate. So
will do.
And to close out like this, so everyone, my guest today was Alex. He's hailing from the lovely state of Virginia. I think they say Virginia is for lovers, though I think it might be debatable. So
yeah.
But nonetheless, he's part of the metal band Lux Extermina, exterminate like that whole deal. So let's go hit him up on the socials, all streaming platforms and everything too. Let's go support our brothers, both in this band and in the Virginia music scene as well there too. So Alex, wish you all the best they're going there for their mates. So you stay safe because it is a crazy world out there. All gone.
Yes.
And now we pose. Stay tuned, y'all.